everyone. Join us on an exciting journey with Explore the World Cameroon. London and Sydney go take you explore Cameroon, the heart of Africa. Experience the vibrant culture, nature, and traditions from Yaoundé market to rainforest adventures. Every page na new discovery. Join the Cameroonian food, music, and wildlife with our explorers. This book na true celebration of Cameroon spirit. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through your library and bookstores via Ingram's Park. Don't miss this adventure.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs and on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. We're here a little early, as promised. So we make sure to finish what we have to do here, and we let everybody, get on to the debate, because I got to see it. Did you buy your popcorn? Because I got my popcorn. I made sure to pick up some of that little bag of caramel and cheese popcorn so I can sit there and watch the festivities. We put up a poll in on the tab there and just asked, what topic is important for y'all tonight. And we got economy, immigration, abortion, and crime. And most people want to know about, it's kind of 56% economy, 42%, well, now it says 41% immigration, abortion 1%, crime 1%. So it looked like immigration and economy is the most important things that people, want to find out about. And so make sure you be looking for those topics. Because the pocketbook is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's definitely September 10th. We are trucking along, and we may have a special guest on Thursday on the stream. I'm not gonna say who it is, but make sure it happened. But hopefully, we should have a special guest on Thursday. Outside of that, I'm checking the chat real quick. Chat. Okay, cool. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Democrat shills because, when you talk about an anti-black hate crime bill, the Democrat shills always say that, well, there was a anti-black, or there's a black hate crime bill or a crime bill that includes you for the most part, right? And they said the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Jr. Hate Crime Act. And they try to use that to shame you to stop asking for an anti-black hate crime bill. So we're going to kind of look at those tonight and just see what was the difference in those 2 bills. That way, when the Democrat shills tell you something, you know how to kind of respond. Because we're trying to learn over here, right? Just real quick, as always, if you're going with us to Ethiopia in March 2025, just keep up with your payments and all of that, or work with them, Maximum Impact, touring. Our brother Jay Cameron, thank you for downloading the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. I'm seeing the people join, and that's a beautiful thing to see that, especially, with these climate and all of that. We have to navigate, watch what we say, and all those sort of things. And like, as I explained by the app before, the app is a place we always have somewhere to talk. We can bring up topics that we can't bring here. Here you got to really watch what you say. You can't say this, you can't say that. I'm always watching what people say here. And I sometimes behind the scenes say, hey, we can't say it like this. We got to say it like that. Why? But this the reason why. If you really want to do that one, let's put it on the app and we good to go. We rock and roll. Like I just had 2 videos in the Letty. Y'all say, oh, we can't put that one on YouTube. So that's on the app. Well, anything we do is going to be on the app regardless. But certain things that just cannot come here. So appreciate everybody that's joining and supporting us there. When you download the app, hit create account, and you can select monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And that goes directly to us. There's no cutting in percentages or anything like that. It goes directly to us. And we greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to our 10,000 members, and I believe, God, there's 10,000 people out there that would like to join. Let me tell you something, 10,000 members on that app is way more than having the amount of subscribers we have on this channel. I will tell you that. So we're pushing along to get to that 10,000. All right, so let's go on and get to our brother tonight real quick, and we'll get started. It won't take us long. We will get started. So let's get it.
I'm just telling you. I'm gonna let you talk.
Who you talking to? You gonna let the voters let me? I got voted in. Who you talking to? You gonna let me? I got seconds left.
I want you to know.
Ain't she crazy? How many seconds? Why you? I'm counting your time, Miss Galloway. I'm gonna rule you out of order. You keep talking so much.
Do I have the floor? Do I?
Yes, you do.
Thank you very much.
What a fool.
We have got to help the city of Flint. We have got to move the city forward. We have got to vote yes on this. Thank you.
Ms. Herkenroder, you the reason that I'm going to vote the way I'm going to vote, because you tried to put words in my mouth like I said you was a racist. You got to stop doing that. You've got to stop doing that.
Ms. Fields, please be very careful in that area. Please.
All I said, there was mediation and there were people in rooms.
You told
That's
details of who in what room and how many.
But I am going to finish saying this.
Well, go ahead.
That's fine. Do you?
It shouldn't be fine. We got folks sitting in business, and I wouldn't care if you was the chair, the sofa, the TV. So you might want a dialogue.
I don't give a.
You don't give a what?
That's what he's trying to do.
So you dialoguing?
There's no dialogue.
It is some dialogue. You gave me some
point
dialogue.
Of order. Councilwoman Worthy, what is your point of order? No, I'm not.
You ain't?
I'm not.
You must.
This is a joke.
Stop this abuse.
I'm going to give
It
you
is
a
abuse.
point of order. Personal attacks is out of order. Now, you want to make a personal attack on me, I'm going to tell you something. I'm tired of Ms. Fields calling me racist. I'm tired of you calling me personal names as it relates to women. I'm tired of it. It's wrong. You're out of order. But you keep doing it. Because when I start blasting your butt like I'm doing, everybody already know it's coming from y'all. But don't get beside yourself, Mr. Chairman. If he gonna holler tell me to shut up, you better give him his warning.
I gave you yours.
Give him his. If you gonna discriminate, you gonna let the white man running for mayor holler across and tell this black man to shut up.
I don't want to hear
So when he get loud, I'm gonna get louder. When they go low, I go lower.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our great brother, Eric Mays. I wish he was on that debate stage against Trump than Vice President Kamala Harris. All right, ladies and gentlemen, class in session. Get your pens, get your paper, and let's go on and get our things knocked out for the night, so we can go on and dismiss a little earlier and get to that get to that debate. All right, as always, make sure you go to vote.gov, ladies and gentlemen, vote.gov to register to vote. Update your information. Make sure you can participate in the process. Vote.gov, vote.gov. Shills, I'm talking to you. Make sure you vote too. Even if you're going to vote for your own demise, it's okay. Vote.gov. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure, well, if it pop up, I don't know why it's dark on me like that. There we go. All right, make sure to go to travel.state.gov. Make sure you obtain a U.S. passport so you can travel wherever you would like throughout the world. Even if you haven't planned a trip, just go ahead on and have one. You never know when a trip may come up, and you're not scurrying for a passport. You already got one. So make sure you go through the process, get you a passport if you don't have one. Black folks don't have passports like that. That's a sin and a shame. For us not to have that, we should have that just as much as we have a driver's license. Okay, all right. So the Democrat shills, when you've been really stomping hard about an anti-black hate crime bill, you've been stomping very hard for that, just as much as you've been stomping about reparations. Of course, the Democrat Party, as of now, is not discussing the anti-black hate crime bill for you. They don't care about your protection. They don't want you protected. They don't want you to have reparations either. We've seen the stunt that was pulled in California. You can't get more Democrat than California. You can't get more Democrat than Governor Gavin Newsom. You can't get more Democrat than the California state legislature. You can't get more Democrat than that, right? And you see how the California Legislative Black Caucus worked together to undermine the reparations bills, even when a Republican put it up to expose them. He really exposed them, and it starts sending things in the tailspin. So you've been stomping about an anti-black hate crime bill, and the Democrat shills have been out here repeatedly saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we already have a hate crime bill. We have the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Act. So then a lot of you kept saying, well, if we have that, then why they do one specifically for Asians? They say, no, we already have one. We already have one. Okay. All right. So let's look at something, everything that I pull, usually when it comes to any laws, summaries or whatever, especially, I want to pull it directly from the United States government websites. So nobody can say, oh, he was making it up with a blog or this person's opinion. No. We're going to take it directly from the government website. And also, I appreciate some of y'all that was kind of going back and forth with a couple of shills on TikTok, and y'all letting them know, nah, Phillip take his stuff directly from the government. He takes it from this or that. See, that's when you're paying attention. I appreciate that. So let me get to the first website here. Let me get it up on the screen so y'all can see it. Let's see it together. Boom. Now, as you can clearly see, justice.gov. This is from the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division. Okay. Now, we're talking about the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2009. This was signed into law by Barack Hussein Obama, former president of the United States. And this is the summary here from the Civil Rights Division at the DOJ. So this is what the Democrat shills have said to you, that we have already on the books a hate crime bill. What you need, an anti-black one. Okay, so if we look here, it says the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2009, 18 USC 249 enacted. It's as Division E of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2010. Section 249 of Title 18 provides funding and technical assistance to state, local, and tribal jurisdictions to help them to more effectively investigate and prosecute hate crimes. It also creates a new federal criminal law which criminalizes willful causing bodily injury or attempting to do so with firearm, and other dangerous weapon when, the crime was committed because of the actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin, or any person, or the crime was committed because of the actual or perceived religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability of any person. And the crime affected interstate or foreign commerce or occurred within federal, special maritime, and territorial jurisdiction. Okay. So what they're talking about here is what the Shills are saying, well, see, that covers black people because it says about race. Okay, race, color. All right. It actually covers black people. It covers white people. It covers Asian people too. Any person, any group of people, this covers. Okay. Now they talk about the newly enacted 249. It has 3 significant subsections, and they talk about criminalizes violent acts and attempts to commit violent acts undertaken with a dangerous weapon when those acts occur because of the actual or perceived race, color, religion, or national origin of any person. The section of statute has broader reach, it said, than existing hate crime statutes. Okay. And they say, for example, requires the government, it said, prove not only the crime was motivated by animus, it said, but also because of the victims, it say, participation 1 to 6 enumerated federally protected activities. Section 249 is pursuant to Congress' 13th Amendment authority to eradicate badges and incidents of slavery. The government need to prove no jurisdictional element to obtain a conviction. Okay. So it's not that long what we're looking at here. Now, subsection 2 of 249 protects a wider class of victims. Subsection 2 criminalizes acts of violence and attempts to commit violent acts undertaken with a dangerous weapon motivated by actual perceived gender, disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity of any person. It also apply to violent acts motivated by animus, it's against those religions and national origins which were not considered to be racist at the time the 13th Amendment was passed. The portion of the statute was passed pursuant to Congress's Commerce Clause authority. Thus, to obtain a conviction, the government must prove that the crime was in affected interstate or foreign commerce. Subsection 2B of the statute contains a detailed description, of the ways the Commerce Clause element may be fulfilled. Now, subsection A3 of 249 provides prosecution of crimes committed because of the characteristics defined, in A1 or A2 whenever such crimes occur with the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States. Last paragraph here, because I'm going to point some things out. That's why we're going through this. The statute criminalizes right here only violent acts resulting in bodily injury or attempts to inflict bodily injury. So with this one, you can only if it criminalizes you only for violent acts or you attempting to hurt somebody through the use of firearms, explosive, incendiary devices, and other dangerous weapons. And say the statute does not, right here, the statute does not criminalize threats of violence. It said threats to physical injury may be prosecutable under other hate crime statutes, such as 42 U.S.C., and then they give you the numbers here. Such threats may be prosecutable under generally applicable federal laws preventing interstate communication of such threats. Okay. So this one focused more on right here, what we see here, right? The bodily injury portion. And this applies to all people, right? All people, race, religion, national origin of any person, all that, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability. Okay. So the Shills say that this is what protects black people right here. Okay. All right. And we have established that. Do you know what the difference is with the COVID-19 bill versus the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Jr. outside of talking about Asians specifically? Do you know the difference? Do you know the difference? Okay. All right. Let's go. Let me show you the difference real quick. I see I'm talking about Boulay and Martin. Now, let's go here to the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. Let me show you what's the difference. One, we put in Asian up here, and Asian specifically was named in this bill about 8 times. 8 times. In this bill, it just says race, color, religion, etc. Immediately, you talking about Asian and Pacific Islanders. Okay. So here they're saying there's been a dramatic increase in hate crimes and violence against Asian American Pacific Islanders. According to a recent report, there were nearly 3,800 reported cases of anti-Asian discrimination and incidents. Now, do you remember here? They said that the statute only criminalizes violent acts resulting in attempts in bodily injury through the use of fire. You see all that right there? Now, when you come here, what are they talking about? They immediately start talking about reported cases of discrimination and incidents related to COVID-19 between March 19, 2020 and February 28, 2021 in all 50 states, even though Black Americans led as victims of hate crimes in that year, according to the FBI. During the time frame, race has been cited as the primary reason for the discrimination, making up, let's say, over 90% of the incidents, and the United States condemns and denounces any and all anti-Asian and Pacific Island sentiment in any form. They're immediately talking about discrimination and not really violence, because if someone committed violence against an Asian, then the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Jr. bill would have covered Asians. No. So when we're saying that this is an Asian protection bill, they particularly saying that, wait a minute, even if you are discriminating in any way, shape, form, or fashion, that's a problem. And the United States government is singling out this one group because of discrimination, when discrimination could happen to any race of people. That's why any race of people was supposed to be added to the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Jr. bill. Okay? This is a conversation you're not going to get on MSNBC. Roughly 36% of these incidents took place at a business, or more than 2 million Asian American businesses have been contributing to the diverse fabric of American life. Remember, they say these incidents. They didn't say, notice the words. They say incidents. They didn't say hate crime. They didn't say violence against an Asian person. They say discrimination and incidents. Okay? Then they say more than 1.9 million Asian American and Pacific Island older adults, particularly those older adults who are recent immigrants or have limited English proficiency, may face even greater challenges in dealing with COVID-19 pandemic, including discrimination. They keep using the word discrimination over and over and over again. You understand that? So if we come back up here and let's just type in discrimination. Let's see how many times that's even mentioned in the bill. Just give me a second. Discrimination is mentioned about 3 times. Right here, right here, right here. Discrimination, okay? And then they talked about, the one case in Atlanta, Georgia at the massage parlor where people got killed. Then as we just kind of scroll down again, going through this guidance for law enforcement, as we talked about before, creating a online reporting with hate crimes and incidents, and have online reporting, just for more reporting, as we covered before. Then they talk about, certain parts of the James Byrd Jr. But this is the thing. This is the thing. This bill not only specifically mentioned Asian Americans, but they talk about discrimination and incidents, and the United States government condemn and denounce any and all anti-Asian and Pacific Islander sentiment in any form. Over here, the United States government don't condemn anything, but here they condemn it. We don't. And so this is why Black Americans are saying, now let me get back on the screen here. Let me get back. Boom. This is why Black Americans are saying, okay, that is a bill to protect the Asian community. This is why a lot of Black people said that is an Asian hate crime bill. Because not only did you briefly touch on hate crimes, which was already covered by the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Jr. bill, you didn't need another bill. No, you took it a step further, mentioned them at least 8 times in that bill, and you mentioned discrimination 3 different times, and you specifically said you denounce anti-Asian sentiment and condemn it as a United States government, when you should condemn all hate crimes and sentiment of any kind by different, people who are engaging in that kind of behavior. So the question is, Now that the Shills say, well, that's the bill that we have. So now ask the Shills, then the bill that covered not only Black Americans, but Asian Americans, which is the Matthew Shepard, Byrd Jr. bill, why did the Biden-Harris administration, why did they specifically, and the government at the time, including the Congressional Black Caucus that voted on this too, why did they specifically single them out when we already had the Matthew Shepard, Byrd Jr. bill, which would have protected them from any kind of hate crimes, even on the federal level? Why did you specifically protect them? Then last night, you remember on Vice President Kamala Harris' website, she was talking about specifically doing something for the LGBT community similar to this. Well, the Matthew Shepard, Byrd Jr. bill protects people as LGBT too from hate crimes. Matthew Shepard was LGBT. Okay? I remember that case when Matthew Shepard lost his life. Just as much as I remember Byrd Jr. too in Jasper. That's East Texas. So that was a big case, what happened to Byrd Jr. So they tell you they can't do nothing specifically for Black people, but yet they can do something specifically for one group, the Asian Americans, and give them $50 million worth of grants to whatever organizations would be standing against Asian hate, right? Black Americans are saying, we want the same exact bill, the same exact wording, anti-Black discrimination, anti-Black sentiments. The United States government condemns anti-Black racism, discrimination in all forms. That's what Black Americans are saying. Why can't we get our own specific bill? So Shills, try it again. Try again. See, Shills, let me tell you something. We read over here. We read over here. That's the difference. See, I know that a long time ago on the plantations and all of that, they said if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. Well, we crack books open. We crack websites open. We take our time to rightly divide the word of truth. See, let me tell you about the Shills. See, the Shills, they're already getting their money. They're already getting paid, okay? They already got theirs. Let me get back over here. Boom. They already got theirs. And since they already got theirs, they don't care about the rest of us. When we talk about reparations, right? They're getting theirs already. They getting their payments or enough where they feel they could good. If we get reparations, that's going to mess them up because the Democrats going to tell them, hey, you're not doing your job. I'm going to have to cut your check off because you're not doing your job. Think about somebody like Van Jones. They got $100 million from Jeff Bezos. This is why during the DNC, this is why he was like, well, we didn't have to talk. Nobody talked about nothing like reparations or police brutality. It was just joy. He don't care. Listen, the Boule do not care about reparations. There's two reasons. One, a lot of them wouldn't get it because a lot of them have ties outside this country. Number two, they get theirs by either access they value, certain types of, validation they get from the folks, or monies they're getting. The Boule would never fight for reparations. You have to understand the Boule look at the rest of us, just working class people, us normal people, right? We're not in those circles. They look at us as their enemy. They look at us as like we're beneath them. And so they don't mind selling us out. They don't mind deceiving us. They don't mind doing any of that. You have to understand that. You have people out here that is as long as they get in their check, they don't care. This is why they keep lying over and over and over about even Project 2025. Listen, Project 2025, and what I can't stand even by the lie of it, is not that it's not on paper. It's not that it's not don't exist. It do exist. The Heritage Foundation put that out, right? But they keep lying, saying Trump's Project 2025. And I was like, why? You don't have to lie on Trump. There's a lot of things you can say about Trump that's truthful, that could hurt Trump. You ain't got to lie. But they keep saying they're over and over lying. And when you're lying, even if you're trying to attack somebody, I have a problem with that. But just like when that lady came here that one time, y'all remember on that Sound Off Friday, the lady said, I told her, ma'am, you're lying. She said, it don't matter if you lie. You lie because you have to save democracy. Once she said that, I said, okay. I'm done. I can't. If you gonna lie, because I'm from the old school. If you gonna lie, you gonna cheat. If you gonna cheat, you gonna steal. And if you gonna steal, you gonna kill. So that's why if you just willingly lying to me, no, just tell me the truth. We'll deal with the truth, whatever that we see fit. That's what we'll do with the truth. But don't lie, man. Don't lie. So the Democrat Shills bring that Matthew Shepard, James Byrd, Jr. Bill to you. You just ask them the simple question. Well, why did the Biden-Harris administration specifically write a bill for them when they was already included in the same bill you said I was included in? And let's see them squirm. Now, those who think they smart, because they had a lot of attacks at that time, then tell them, well, how come Black Americans led as victims of hate crimes that same year? We should have been on that bill too, right? According to the FBI, we was attacked more than the Asians were. We attacked actually every year more than any other group. So it would have been a no-brainer to add Black people to that bill, right? But they don't care about your protection. All they care about is their money. That's all they care about. You have to understand, if they can deliver the Black vote up for the Democrat Party, then it's a major payday for them, either through access, maybe some government contracts. Have access to government contracts. It could be some direct monies from like grant monies, or maybe some loans, or maybe just some sort of handout, right? That they wouldn't have got if they would not have done that. This is why you have people like Plies, people like Boulay Martin, people like Luther Campbell, and many others, is why they're going so hardcore, because you have to understand, I believe they're going more hardcore this time than they even did during Hillary Clinton. And I remember it because, I've been here a while. And I'm like, what is the desperation with them? I mean, they're like desperate. And this one sister had made a video on TikTok, and I completely agree with this one sister. She said that this election, no matter which way it goes, it has literally broken up Black America in a lot of sections, and Black America would not be the same. And when I heard that sister say that, I'm like, you know what? She's right. She's right. But I say that's good. I'm so glad that Black America you could see everybody who they are, and now we could know what sections we need to be with, what section we need to get away from. Because me personally, these shills, to me, I look at them at times worse than I even look at some racist. Because the reason why I say that, listen, I understand why the racists don't like me. I get it. I understand why they don't like you. But the shills, they're willing to sabotage the whole community just so they could benefit. And they know these people are saying wrong things and doing wrong things to us as Black Americans. They know. And they don't care. They still going to go along with it because they check. Listen, how do you sleep? Let me ask you something, Shills. How do you sleep at night knowing that you're following a party or doing the bidding of a party that's literally taking tax dollars, federal, state, and local, and giving it to migrants who didn't fight in no wars in this country, didn't build this country, have not innovated this country, right? How can you, as a Black person, Democrat shill, just dismiss your ancestors and their work? You would benefit from reparations, but you don't care because the little check you're getting is good enough. And in order for you to get your check, forget the 40 some odd million of us. You'll screw over 40 million people. Think about that. That is evil. You're going to screw over 40 some odd million people just for your benefit. Just for your benefit. And it's not that anybody in the community is asking you to commit a crime or do anything wrong. You say, hey, just be supportive and let's work together, unity, and let's get this together. Right? But they don't want to hear that because you have to think about it. just as much as they had people on the plantation that was really invested in keeping the plantation going, which we talking about black slaves who worked in the house. They were slaves, but they were cool with their position. They say, hey, look, if I'm going to I'd rather be in the house with massa than in the field with the rest of them. And look, I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to do for self. Because see, let me tell you another reason why the Shills don't want reparations. They don't want reparations because they feel that the moment reparations is paid, they're on the outs. Because they know them folks going to be hot and they don't want them around anymore. But let me tell you something else, Shills. If the Democrats get back in office, they may not even need you anymore because Nancy Pelosi talked about the amnesty of 20 million people. We know Vice President Kamala Harris, she going to do what she told, basically. Even as the president, she's going to do what she told by the Democrat Party. And they're going to go for amnesty. If you give the Democrats the Senate, you give them the House and the White House, they will have amnesty. I promise you that. And when they have amnesty, and now the majority of the people that they have to cater to is more so the migrants in their communities, it's not going to be no job for you, Democrat Shills. It's not going to be no black vote to worry about no more. So you can't hustle. So guess what? Your check's going to get cut off. But see, you don't have forward thinking. You don't see what they proposing, what they want to do. I just cannot, me personally, go out and vote for the demise of my own community when I see the play. It's one thing to get, like food. It's one thing to bait and switch somebody. Okay, that's fine. But when somebody's showing you who they are, and they showed you who they are in the past 3.5 years, and you still talking about, well, we can't have that Trump in there. But Trump is not up here trying to do no amnesty for 20 million people. Trump is not trying to dump a bunch of people in our neighborhoods. But the Democrats and Vice President Kamala Harris, that's what we're going to get. I'm sorry. Like I said, I live in a red state. So Greg Abbott and all the Republicans in Texas, they going to fight against dumping them here. But what about you other brothers and sisters in other states? What about y'all? Yeah, you see Brandon Johnson. Look, right there. He said Brandon Johnson is already doing a hiring freeze and layoffs as well. See, there you go. There you go. Chicago, now they in a deficit. They wasn't in a deficit. Now they're in a deficit in that city. Why? Because of the migrant crisis, right? That was created by the Biden-Harris administration. So you tell me you want to shame me and shame all of you that we don't want to go out and vote for a repeat of that for 4 years? And think about it. I just did a podcast. It'll be tonight, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Give me a second. In New York City, the homeless services, that's part of the city government. So those of you who live in New York City, they're giving migrants, and you can look this up, but we covered it on the podcast tonight. We'll talk about it a little bit more extensively. They're giving the migrants $4,000 if they have children or if they're pregnant with a child, giving a migrant family $4,000 to leave the shelter to go and get a place to stay. $4,000. When rent is going through the roof, $4,000. Where are they getting all this cash? Right? But the cash is actually coming from the Department of Homeland Security. The cash is coming from the city, and the cash is coming from the state. But we supposed to go out as a community and say, oh, Trump and Project 2025. What? So we have American people who's homeless, We have American people who's homeless on the streets, and yet someone has just arrived here getting $4,000. They ain't have to worry about no credit. They have to worry about no job history. They have to worry about no criminal record. And check this out. When they do go get a place to stay, on top of the $4,000, the shelters and all kind of nonprofits going to assist them to make sure they get in and help them with furniture and all kind of other things. The VIP treatment. But do you get any of that? No. You struggle. You get eviction notices. But the migrants only getting in where they fit in. none of us can be mad at the migrants because, come on, they the one giving it to them. They're not stealing it. The Democrats are giving them the red carpet. Why wouldn't they take it? I'm not upset with the migrants. I talk about the Democrat Party because they're the one doing it. In Chicago, in New York, Colorado. They're giving them the red carpet treatment. So in New York, when it gets cold, because it's going to get cold in New York not too long, Chicago is going to be cold and not too long. We know the stuff about Chicago. They was getting $6,000 over there and secret job fairs. But black people in Chicago don't get no free rent. But when black folks say something about what's going on, you got a white gentleman posting posters in the black community talking against black people hating on immigrants. How is that hating on immigrants when you're saying, wait a minute, hold on, my tax dollars supposed to be going to my community. That's the purpose of us paying taxes. They're not even paying taxes. They're not putting in Chicago. So how you gonna take from the people that put in Chicago and give it to people who haven't put a dime in Chicago? And the one family we covered, right, in Chicago, Venezuelan family from 2022, they got to Chicago. In 2 years, they moved into a home in the Austin neighborhood. In 2 years. Y'all go put in Vice President Kamala Harris, all them migrants will be homeowners. And them same migrants in 2028 going to be telling you, I got here in 2022. I got here in 2023. I already got a house. I got 2 cars. I got some jobs. I'm taking vacations. You've been here, what, 400 some odd years? Well, how come you don't have all this? I got it. That's what they gonna tell y'all. And remember, when they tell y'all that, remember, you voted for it. If y'all vote her in, you voted for it. You voted because they're already doing this. It's not like they're gonna bait and switch you like, oh no, we're gonna do this and then switch it up on you, right? No. They're already doing it. And if you see the play and you still go out and vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, you get what you deserve at that point. And I'm telling y'all, I will not say a word about Vice President Kamala Harris and what she's doing. Only thing I'm going to report on is what's happening. And the only messaging I'm going to have is don't complain. You voted for it. That's what you wanted. You knew before the election and you still went out there anyway. So don't complain now. Don't complain that they taking over your neighborhood and you getting evicted because that's what you went out there and vote for. I want to be the guy telling you that the whole time. I promise you. You say but they look down on us. You say this, yeah. You know, the Democrats. Well, you say the other groups that come in and look down on us. Well, think about it. The Democrats are making them look down on us. If you think about it, they come into this country. They don't know much of nothing. They get in here. They see that they're top priority. Come on, where they come from, they didn't stay in free hotels. Wasn't given cell phones. They wasn't given free food in their own homeland. They wasn't. And people come here, people tell them, oh, them black people this, them black people that, them black Americans. They tell them all kind of things. So when you take a group of people and you make them a priority, you give them the VIP treatment and they didn't earn the VIP treatment, yeah, they're going to look down. Sure they will. Oh, yeah. And the more papered up they get, the more the homes they start getting, and they start getting above y'all. Yeah, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna call you lazy and everything else. And they got up that way off of your votes, your tax dollars, your vote and your tax dollars. That's the truth. So when the Shills are trying to tell you about, when you mention an anti-black hate crime bill, yeah, you keep mentioning we need that. We need the exact same thing the Asians got, one specifically for us. Reparations, let me tell you something. All the money they spending on the migrants, that's your reparations right there. If they spending $26 billion a year, well, then they can spend that much on reparations for the next 10 to 20 years. They can. They spend it already. And notice this migrant crisis isn't breaking the country. Have you noticed it isn't causing inflation? Where's all this division that the migrant crisis, because all this money going out, where's the division at? See, nobody's divided, right? But you talk about reparations, it's going to divide the country and it's going to cause inflation. And it's not right. And why should I have to pay? Once again, notice the folks don't say that about the migrant crisis. Why should I have to pay? Billions of dollars, millions of dollars. Chicago, like the brothers mentioning in there, Brandon Johnson. Where's the folks up there protesting about why they have to pay for this? Where they at? But if Brandon Johnson and them was spending that kind of money on a reparations package for Black Americans, they'd be up there protesting, screaming, and everything else. You say, what's going on with my membership? Okay, if you have any membership issues, then you need to send an email to admin@africandiasporanews.org, and then we will forward that directly to the IT team, and then they will talk to you and help you with that. Anytime we get that, we send it directly to them, and they handle that immediately. You say you saw a toddler girl wearing a hair. I mean, what's a child? I mean, that child don't know what she's wearing. I can't say nothing about that. That's our parents and all of that. People can support who they want to support, but over here we just have to be real with the situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you go back and look at even during the time of what Hillary Clinton was running against Trump, right? I'm gonna say this much. Well, I'd rather have Hillary back, be honest with you, because my God. I mean, I don't think Hillary Clinton would have been doing all this mess. At least when her and Bill went in office, they wasn't doing this or all this, the migrant stuff. But it's an agenda, though. It's an agenda, and they are really trying to. But really, what it is, let me tell y'all the agenda. So and write it down because you're gonna say you heard it here first. Okay, so the agenda and why the Biden-Harris administration did this rapid increase. Okay. So you remember when Biden had said to the civil rights bootlicks that this country's doomed because it's going to be minority white European. You remember when he said that? Remember that? Okay. That y'all going to have to start working with the Hispanics because it's more of them here than y'all, right? And then we noticed right after that, he got in office, he started just getting rid of all the stuff Trump had to remain in Mexico, all the stuff, and started getting them in here. So the strategy is going to be twofold. They're going to do the South Africa strategy. So you may say, what's the South African strategy? Just hear me out. So we talking about white Americans. We talking about real white Americans. Their numbers are dwindling. It's going to continue to dwindle. So in order for them to run the country as a minority, they got to keep the numbers up. All these groups they're bringing in, for the most part, what would they classify them as, ladies and gentlemen? They would classify them as white. So when they classify them as white, then it seems like their numbers are either staying the same or getting bigger, right? Because none of these other groups are going to say, hey, I'm not white. Don't classify me as that. Some of them would love to be white, okay? So they're bringing in a lot of people they can classify as white. Now, why do they want the classification as white? Well, because they want the classification to stay higher for white, they can allocate, like they do now, more resources to white. They can keep their senators that they have, that's mostly white, 2 from each state, right? These people that get grafted into whiteness, even though they're not white, even though they're not going to get 100% of the white benefit, they're not. But just for them to be allowed in and given the little gift of white identity, that's going to help the real white Americans to stay in power. So you're going to have more quote unquote people, non-white people here than them, but they're going to still be in control of the whole thing. So basically you're going to have apartheid South Africa, where you're going to have a white minority controlling all these different groups of people. That's really the main reason why they're doing all this mass immigration. That's a big part of it. Okay, so that's really what it is. They not thinking about Democrat voters. They're not thinking about that. This goes beyond Democrat and Republican, because if you know anything, especially about people from Latin America, most of them would vote conservative because most of them are Catholic. It's not about being Democrat or Republican. It's about apartheid South Africa strategy, where the white minority will control America. And they need those numbers, because think about it psychologically. If all the people in this country start seeing their numbers go down like the 35%, 30%, and you look up and all the numbers from other groups are extremely high, psychologically, people are going to say, they ain't running nothing no more. Forget them. They say, no, you going to go sit down like we had to sit down. It's our turn now. So they got to keep on paper them numbers very high. Now, like I said, that's the strategy I see they playing. Of course, they're not going to tell you that, but that's a strategy, the apartheid South Africa strategy. Just run it as a minority, but use other groups to build up their numbers. Because think about it, these other groups that come in here, they don't fight to be separate from the white category. Let's call it what it is. They don't fight for that. Some of them fought to be called white. Remember Lulac and Felix Terrarina? They fought to be white, to be called white, even though they was going to give them their own category. They say, no, we're white. So they say, okay, cool. If that's what you want to be, no problem. Even though you're not us and you're never going to be in our group, that's just not going to happen. But hey, yeah, you are. So we can finesse money, so we can finesse the resources, we can finesse the power and stay in power. And so you walking around with your little name tag, say, hey, today, I'm a white person today. Like, yeah, okay, but you're not getting nothing out of it other than maybe some identity on a paper, because they're not going to give these other groups of people. Like right now, they're getting the red carpet treatment, but once they get really roped in America, some of them going to regret being here. And then some of them going to even leave. And actually, a lot of immigrants leave this place. They don't stay. Some of them really don't stay. Because once they really get into America and realize, like that Jamaican sister said, you're going to work until you're dead. Because then where they come from, you ain't got to work like that. In most countries throughout the world, you don't have to work like we have to work. And I'll tell you why we have to work so much. It's because of the system of credit. Because things are so expensive, we can't just go out and outright buy it. Like in a lot of other countries, if the person got a car, they bought it. If they got a house, that's their house. You know what I'm saying? In our society, we always doing payments. So they keep you working constantly. You're paying a house note. You're paying a car note. You're paying this note, that note, insurance. You're always paying something. And it's like never ending, right? In America. So that's what keeps you working until you're dead. Now, if you hit it big with some money, cool. Then now you kind of got out of it. Now you can start buying stuff, all paying cash, whatever, and keeping it. But for the average working class person, you're going to work until you're dead because of the credit system. That's why the Bible teaches the debtor is slave to the lender. That's why the Bible teaches that. That's why we're working so much in this country. Freedom is ownership. But think about it. In other countries, you can actually own your home right now. You can own your home right now. You still gonna pay property taxes on it, even though you own it outright. You got the title, The bank, you paid the bank off, you still gonna pay property taxes on a home that you own. You got a car. You can pay your car off today, right? Your car is yours. You still got to pay registration sticker. You still got to keep the insurance on it. You still got to. Then your driver's license. What do they tell you about that? It's a privilege, not a right, to drive on the roads that you already pay for. If you really start breaking this system down and really think about what we're doing, and it don't matter what political party is in there, that's what keeps you working so much. That's why that sister said it was a Jamaican immigrant. You're going to work until you are dead. That's why immigrants say, man, they get a little money, they go back, some of them, and say, I'm cool. I don't want to be working till I'm dead. I want to chill. I want to have house help. I want to have a swimming pool. My God, in my country, I could have had all that with half of this. It's the truth. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Yeah, the yearly taxes. Like, we have so much on us, man. It's like, as Americans, you don't realize, like, until you move around and, like, go travel different places, like, bro, like, we live stressed out constantly because of you working until you're dead. Then, on all that work and taxes we pay, right, we were, like, quadruple taxed. Then, on top of us being quadruple taxed, we watch the tax money go to the migrants. Then, when we need protection from our government, you got people working against us in our own community who's trying to sabotage even our protection. It's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, yeah, y'all got a sticker. Yeah. Well, in Texas, we got a registration/inspection sticker. We got one sticker that we have to pay for every year. And you have to have liability insurance, at least liability by state law. You got to have liability insurance. So regardless, you got to have insurance. And if you don't have insurance on your vehicle and you're driving, they already know what the police know. Back in the day, it didn't used to be like that, but now they got a system. So the police run your license plate. They know if you got insurance or not. Oh, they know. And if you don't have insurance, that's against the law. And they'll tow your car because you're driving around without insurance. Yeah, it's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, y'all, it's time to wrap this thing up. Like I said, I was going to wrap it up at the right time, 7:40. But thank y'all for joining us on the stream tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's very, very important. I hope y'all enjoyed the debate tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna go down here and get that on and get relaxed and get the popcorn. That way I can enjoy the show and let's see if we can do some reviews on some of this tomorrow evening. So thank y'all for listening. We'll see y'all tomorrow at our regular time, 7 p.m. Central